It's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast where we look at an Astro-Numerology event coming up in the stars and numbers. And in this case, it's the Gemini new moon on May 30th, 12:30 p.m. Universal Time. That's London. And that's 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, New York, and 4:30 a.m. Pacific Time, LA. Now, this Gemini new moon is super exciting. It's very positive, has wonderful aspects, and it follows a very intense, empowering, cleansing, purging, total solar or total lunar full moon eclipse in Scorpio from May 15th and 16th. So it is very welcome. Gemini always is a more sprightly, fun energy, and this lunation is incredible because it creates a sextile to Jupiter, sextile to Mars, and a sextile to Chiron, all in Aries. And it signifies wonderful new beginnings, being a new moon, and this incredible stellium in Aries creating this triple sextile, Aries being the first sign. And so there's this wonderful energy of healing and starting fresh. And the ruler of Gemini, which is the planet Mercury, creates a magnificent sextile to Neptune and a square to Saturn, which means you're taking responsibility for your spiritual life. You have a strong dedication to sharing a message that is both spiritual and practical. So it's not all in la la land. It is literally the combination of your heart and mind being grounded and being connected to the divine all at once. So it's really about unity consciousness here. And of course, we always want to look at the ruler of any lunation, in this case, the new moon in Gemini, being ruled by Mercury, because it adds extra insight into the impact of the sign that the moon and the sun are in. In this case, they're both in Gemini. Now, Gemini is a sign of motion, activity. It is a fun sign of humor. It obviously governs communication and your skills and how you communicate. It governs facts and information, curiosity, writing and speaking, effective listening, of course, teaching as well. It governs siblings, short distance travel, understanding different viewpoints, awareness of options in your life, and a lot of variety and ability to think quickly and take all angles of a conversation into consideration. So that means really enjoying the moment and having a lot of ingenuity at the same time. Now, Gemini also governs relationships that are based on proximity, so closer to you, meaning siblings or neighbors, schoolmates, roommates, colleagues, anybody who plays a role in your life consistently in your immediate environment. And the sun and moon in this new moon are at 9 degrees. 9 is an emotional number. It's in the triad of 369 in numerology, which is the triad of love and creativity. And so there is a sense of letting go and feeling with the number 9. 9 is the last single digit, so it does govern endings, but as well as unconditional love and compassion. So the sun and moon are at 9 degrees in Gemini, creating a sextile to Mars, a very passionate planet. And remember that incredible connection to the 3 planets in Aries, which is the sign that Mars rules. Those 3 planets, again, are Chiron, Mars, and Jupiter. So that sextile to Mars and Jupiter especially is just so exciting. So that means even though you may find yourself feeling dejected in some way or despondent, this will really help you see there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that you just need to create that opening so you can see the light, to find it, to actively look for it, and to not focus on what's not working, but to focus on what you can do to make it work. So focusing on the solution, right? Mercury is sextile Neptune and square Saturn, as I mentioned, and trying to Pluto as well. So with the ruler of Gemini making all those connections and all these contacts, there are going to be more contacts in your life. You're going to be making more connections. Your mind will also be very active. So it happens on May 30th, 2022. That date adds up to 14. 14 reduces to 5. 14 is the media number. Gemini and Mercury are connected to media by virtue of Mercury governing the communication field. So there is a sense of a lot of messaging, being able to share your message. Now, one thing I need to bring up at this point is that during this Gemini new moon, Mercury is actually in retrograde, Mercury, the ruler of Gemini. So it gives you a great perspective on the internal issues that may be preventing you from sharing a message, from being the messenger. Or it can also open up the internal so that your message is more profound, more deep, more truly from you, as opposed to regurgitating data and info that you gleaned from external sources. So there is a real sense here of having great emotional focus and being more conscious due to the retrograde, because you're turning within. Any retrograde takes you within. So your instinct is strong. Remember, the moon is sextile Mars. You really are fired up. You're enthusiastic. I mean, Mars in Aries sextile any ruler of any lunation really creates new beginnings energy and a sense of independence and just celebrating your small and big successes so that you feel inspired to move forward. And of course, the sun is also sextiling Mars, being next to the moon, and that energizes you and it stimulates you to act, and you just sense that you're creatively on fire. And so you really trust what's coming through. You move forward quickly, you don't doubt it, and you can create tremendous momentum this way. The sun and moon, of course, are sextile Jupiter in Aries as well, and that is just a feel good. I feel positive. I feel like I can navigate anything. I feel recognized. I feel open to miracles, and I feel open to recognize that healing comes through joy. Jupiter is the planet of joy. Healing comes through sensing that joy is the most healing and cleansing and immediately accessible way for you to leave pain behind. So if you laugh at it, if you have humor, if you smile through it, if you literally just activate a smile, even if you may not feel the smile, just smiling itself changes your physiology. So joy is the great healer. And remember that Chiron is the third planet that the sun and moon create a sextile to. Chiron is also in Aries, and Chiron is the great healer. During this Gemini new moon, Mercury is actually in Taurus now. It started its retrograde in Gemini on May 10th and now has retrograded into Taurus. So that gives it more stability, more patience in terms of communication, so you don't fall into these patterns of judgment, and you instead use that Mercury trine Pluto energy to ask, how can I approach this in a new way? And how can I change my approach to a conversation, transform it, be open and flexible, purge whatever comes up for me, and really connect to this person in a genuine way. So there'll be a lot of opportunities during this new moon to recalibrate how you do things and how you think about things. So this Gemini new moon is basically activating new beginnings in so many beautiful ways. There are a lot of blessings that come from the other planets, Mars and Jupiter coming together with this incredible sextile. This is really creating 4 connections between the Sun and Moon, Jupiter and Mars. And it brings a lot of gifts. It really helps you to tune into the ability to create joy and blessings in your life at will, which Mars, of course, loves to do, anything that is immediate. Now, because Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is in retrograde, you do want to take extra time to rest in general at this time, not to go on overdrive in terms of the speed limit, meaning not to speed things up to the point where it's too fast and you lose control. So that's the Mars energy. But to just be patient, especially in how you communicate with others, because then you can initiate a wonderful natural flow of moving forward, as opposed to a willful, impatient, which is not being in the flow anymore, but this propulsive energy that then, in a sense, separates you from your environment and your connection to the divine and the people around you. So lighten up, focus on what delights you, allow yourself to really embrace that lighter energy that Gemini brings. The twins, in a way, are bouncing off ideas. They're playful. They have each other. They are excited to share anything that comes up. And so this energy at 9 degrees Gemini, which is so compassionate with that degree number, is allowing you to really have some enjoyment in your life, especially after this intense eclipse cycle that we just navigated through. This is a welcome break of light, delight, enlightenment, the lightness of being, just being in a place of stripping away mental anguish and mind games and anxiety and simplifying your life to embrace only what's essential. And the most essential part of life is when you smile at the world. When you smile at anyone, they light up. When someone smiles at you, it washes away everything, all the past and the anxious moments, because you are pulled into the present moment. And this is really the key to Gemini's humor, is to allow that joy to flow through. Remember, Jupiter is creating this magnificent sextile to the new moon. Jupiter, the bringer of expansion and joy. So there's so much good news here to take heart in and to partake in and embrace in you, to allow it to flower, to allow it to unfold, to not impede it with whatever negative stuff you may be focusing on. Allow that all to resolve itself. You don't need to partake in that. Your responsibility is to you. And Gemini reminds you that that is a request to lighten up and to partake in what really delights you. So have a beautiful Gemini new moon. Have a beautiful week. And remember, you have a star code as well. And if you want to discover yours, go to starcodeclass.com for a free masterclass on your birthday, birth certificate name, your astrology birth chart. It includes a free handout. It's magnificent in discovering you at soul level and infusing joy and gratitude. Again, it's free, and you can enjoy that 90-minute masterclass at starcodeclass.com. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you in next week's Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.